Zentrix AI. The advanced AI-powered trading platform for every trader. Everything you need for trading success. Research, strategy, automation, trade signals, all in one platform. Write strategies in plain language. We build the bots. Forex, crypto, stocks, futures. Every market. Let AI do the heavy lifting. Zentrix AI. The future of trading is here. Are you ready?
Okay, what's up people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good. As always guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. If you haven't joined the Telegram for Zentrix AI yet, I will share that in the chat again. You can find out more information here regarding launch, and if you are interested in testing out the platform, make sure you do get your Solana wallets ready because you will need that to access the platform. But if you're very interested in learning about AI, how you could utilize that to help aid your trading, whether developing automated trading bots, strategies, refining strategies, indicators, of course, across multiple markets as well, make sure you check out and join the Telegram. But as always, hope everyone's well. We'll go through the USD side of things first, take a look at the dollar, USD majors, gold, and silver. Any requests, please drop it in the chat and we'll take a look. And any time frames in particular, let me know. Of course, most of the time I'll be on the 4-hour chart and time frames around that. But if you do want me to drop to like the 15, let me know. And of course, I will take a look. But yeah, as usual, we will start with the DXY, which since we last spoke, we have seen a bit of momentum to the upside, but nothing too crazy. We talked about 3 different areas where price potentially could sell off from. The first area was this consolidation, which we did see a reaction from. I also talked about this area. This was more at the beginning of the week before we had this continuation on Monday. And I said if the market was to have a big pullback this week, then potentially this could be an area where price does pull back into before we do continue. But yesterday, as we can see, we did pull back into this area, a bit of a wick there on the 4-hour chart, and price did see some nice rejection. However, we haven't really got going. We did see some downside, yes, but price is not back at these lows necessarily. So it's a reaction, but not necessarily a continuation of the trend. Price might still want to go see some higher prices. And again, that's the logic here with the DXY. We are still bearish. We're still seeing lower lows and lower highs. Momentum is still with the bears. So again, from an intraday point of view, selling is the best bet because you're there to try and take a piece of the pie, not necessarily looking for a big swing, not trying to look to stay in the trade for too long. So that's why I said intraday, if you're looking for shorts, that's a good idea. Kind of looking for the trade for the day and then be done with it. If you're looking for a swing trade, I think the better trade will be looking for buys in this scenario because we are still very corrective on the way down. We'll lose momentum. I do think the bigger move for the dollar at some point in time will be to the upside. So as a swing trade, I think I'll have a bit more joy looking for buys. Of course, being patient, waiting for price to give me that signal initially because we could always keep falling. So I'm waiting for price to push up higher, potentially putting a higher low in, and then I start to look for some entries to go long, and we're probably still a few days away from that. But that's what I do expect the bigger move to be. So as a swing trade, that's what I'm interested in. But day trading, I can fully understand looking to try and take some shorts. As price comes back into these areas, there could be some healthy reactions. On the lower time frames, just like we got yesterday as well. So again, the immediate price action is still bearish. I'm waiting for the buys, not quite here yet. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about the buy setups because they're just not here yet. And I would still keep an eye from these zones, 97.2, 97.8, 98.6 as areas where price could potentially react and see some downside. But yeah, USD so far pretty bearish, but I am expecting to see some upside soon for USD. Just have to be patient. Euro USD, same situation really as well. In terms of, we had a bit of a pullback yesterday. We did tap into this area, which corresponds to what the DXY did. I also mentioned this area here as well. I quite like it because it lines up very well with this high. So resistance over there, of course, resistance over there, but acting as an area of demand with that breakout. And of course, you've got this consolidation here too. So pretty much the same areas as we referred to with the DXY, but you can see price tapped into this zone here, that consolidation tapped into it. Nice reaction to the upside. I was talking a lot about shorting opportunities on the euro on the 15-minute chart. I said keep an eye out for this zone for the buys. We did see a healthy reaction there. Now prices pull back into this area of supply. It looks like we're seeing some type of reaction, and it looks like we could be seeing a bit of a fall. Price had one push, second push failed this morning. Could see a bit of a drop there and a continuation of that bearish structure. So with euro as well, I'm expecting a bigger pullback with this one. I'm not really interested in finding buying opportunities. I think this is a decent level where we could see a nice reaction. There's a nice trend line going through the market here. But again, I'm not expecting anything too crazy because I do think the market's a bit overextended. I think the bigger move is going to be to the downside at some point. But yeah, we'll see as things develop. The shorts are definitely not quite ready yet. Intraday, yes, there might be some opportunities, but long term, not quite ready there either. But in terms of the buys for euro, we had a nice buy there. I think this zone is something to keep an eye on. Let's see how euro develops from then onwards. Pound USD, I was a bit surprised with this one. We had a lot of pound weakness come into the market, and price did drop quite heavily there yesterday for pound. Across all pairs pretty much. And yeah, pound did have a pretty substantial drop, and we did end up respecting this area. Prior resistance there, this area of demand. But altogether, we have left behind a bit of a consolidation here, and I do worry that pound is going to push up just to respect as resistance, respect the supply, and possibly continue lower. Again, the way I'm looking at pound USD is that the market has been bullish for quite some time, but I do feel like we're coming to an end shortly, and might not necessarily be an end, but a bigger pullback at some point. And that's kind of where I would expect the bigger move to be. So I'm quite interested with the shorts. Not this one though. I want to see price go and create some bearish structure first, and then I can capitalize on a lower high somewhere. That's still about a few days away from forming, but I quite like the intraday sell opportunities here, particularly this range there. Drop to the hourly chart. So yeah, if price can pull back into 1.37-ish, I'd say that's a healthy place for a short, and at least a push back down into the low. So yeah, I'll keep an eye for that for pound USD. I still think this is a decent area for longs as well. This is of course the last swing low, which gave us this run to the upside, so that naturally could be an area where we do bounce from. But again, I'm not expecting any big buys here. I think the market's quite stretched. I do think the bigger move will be with the bears. So we might see a bounce, but I'm expecting it to be a situation where we do bounce, put a lower high in, and then run lower. But again, we can speak more about that when we actually are trading at those prices. For now, this is kind of what I'm looking at. Dollar CAD, we did see some more downside. We did see some more lower highs. We talked about this yesterday. I said watch out for this area here. Nice range in the market. We did see a lot of momentum to the downside. We didn't quite see the double top. I did say watch out for the double top. I was looking to see if price can run back into resistance here and then have the sell. Not quite in this situation. Price formed the high, consolidated, and then broke to the downside with some nice momentum. But we did keep up with the lower highs, which is the important thing. The plan for the week here for dollar CAD was a push back into the lows. Looks like price is almost there. So I would expect dollar CAD just to eventually go and hit support there really. And then we'll go from there. There could actually be some nice buys to take dollar CAD back to the upside. We are trading in a big area of demand in this area. So I do like the idea of looking for some longs. It's definitely more of an aggressive trade. But I do feel like we can at least have a bounce. The bigger move might be to the downside, but because of where we're trading, the bounce we had previously, there might be a bit of a bounce there for dollar CAD. More of an aggressive setup, but it makes sense given the location of where we're trading. So keeping an eye on the lows here at 1.35. There could be some really nice buy opportunities there. Aussie dollar, still keeping an eye for the shorts in this ascending channel, which it seems like we've been in forever. I'm looking at this area here just above our heads around 0.66. I'm looking at this upper channel, basically just looking to short the high of the channel and then look for a swing back to the low of the channel. Nothing too complicated. Price has just been doing that for the past few months now. Of course, we had that fake out to the downside, but price quickly recovered. This is really the area which I want to be looking to short from. So Aussie dollar looking for a push back into 0.66. I think that's the great place to short. Stop loss above the highs there. Of course, how we get there and how we react will make the trade. I'm not going to just short because price is there. I'm going to wait for the rejection. But then, yeah, expectation would be a short back to the low of the range. And then the reason why I like the short a lot is because potentially capitalize on the breakout as well. Take a good chunk of profits at the low, but leave some to run just in case we show signs of continuation, because these ascending channels, they tend to break lower, and hopefully we can catch that, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Aussie dollar still keeping a close eye at 0.66. New Zealand dollar, this one pretty much the same idea, and we're pretty much doing it already. I'm looking at this ascending channel here, and you can see we've got high, low, high, low. Price came back into the high recently, respected it pretty well. Haven't really seen momentum really pick up for the bears. There was a nice reaction, but we haven't really got going yet. This is still my expectation for NZUSD. As long as we can hold on to resistance here, I'm bearish. If I see signs of price breaking through the level, through the high, then of course I will look to reanalyze that. But for now, rejection. Price is doing a good job at rejecting the high there, so I would be bearish. If I'm looking to long, price needs to be breaking through that, which in this case, price is not quite doing yet. So still looking for a push to the lower end of the range, back to 0.59. Very similar to the idea we have with Aussie dollar, and of course they're very similar pairs. So we'll see if they can respect the highs of their channels and see if we can get that swing lower. In terms of gold, so yeah, gold, I'm looking for short still. We are coming back into my area of interest, which is this area here. I'm seeing price slow down, so I'm keeping an eye on that. I like how we're looking. Again, we had a lot of momentum with this bullish move here, so if I'm going to get short, I need to see some really healthy rejection before I do take a trade and a big shift in momentum. I'm still looking at this as a big V-shaped pattern. We did have a slight correction there. Now we're seeing the continuation. So basically, I'm looking for us to really slow down, see some very strong rejection, and then I'll be happy to take some shorts with the targets of support down here. And maybe if things go very well, might leave positions to run into support down there at 31.40, 31.50. So at the moment, very, very bearish on gold. I'm looking at this as our last major swing high. So as long as price doesn't break through this high here, I remain bearish, looking for shorting opportunities. If price was to run through that level, I'll back away. At that point, we'll be looking quite bullish. I wouldn't necessarily be looking to buy the market, not after a break like that. But I wouldn't be looking to sell the market either. So yeah, just keeping a close eye around 33.60 to 33.80. That's really my area of interest. I'm liking how we're moving. We're starting to slow down, seeing a little bit of wicks to the upside. No real shift of momentum, so no trade yet, but I am looking at gold having a bit of a drop there. Silver, on the other hand, is looking very bullish. We did have a bit of a push to the upside this morning, very strong candle close. At this point, it does look like silver is going to run back to highs, which is interesting because if silver is looking very bullish, looking like it's about to run to highs, but I'm looking to short gold, there is a bit of a contradiction there. So maybe gold does join the party with silver flying to the upside. Maybe gold does that as well. If that's the case, hopefully, gold doesn't give me any type of signal and gold just flies to the upside and I stay away. But if I do get a good rejection with gold, I will happily look to take some shorts. But yeah, silver's looking strong. Does not look like we're going to get the retest of 35. All these wicks have held support very, very well, and looks like we're about to push back into resistance. I still do have a lot of, I still do expect higher prices for silver long term. I'm still looking for a push into 40. I think that's the next big psychological level. So that's where I'm expecting price to be drawn towards. So yeah, I think there'll still be opportunities in the near future, even if we don't get the retest of this level, which of course is not looking likely now. But yeah, even if we don't get the retest of that, I think there will be pullbacks on the way to that next big level at 40. So keeping a close eye on that. But yeah, silver's looking very bullish. There might be some lower time frame opportunities here. Something like this, and we go put another higher low in. But yeah, this was really the opportunity I was looking for. Doesn't look likely anymore. But yeah, I still do expect higher prices for silver. Okay, where was I? Tommy, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Nathaniel. Okay, I'll take a look at gold on the 15. Ogpack, welcome to the stream. Good morning, hope you're well. Yes, still holding pound Aussie, not quite at take profit yet. We'll go through that one shortly, but nice continuation yesterday. The pound weakness did really help out that trade. But yeah, still short on pound Aussie. Trev, yes, we just went through silver. Let me know if there's a particular time frame you want me to take a look at. But yeah, silver's looking very bullish. It's likely to run back to highs. There might be an opportunity if you do pull back into this area. Nice brief demand there. Strong push to the upside. Of course, this is where all the momentum came from. So naturally, if we can see a retest of that area, I think that's a smart place to buy on the lower time frames. But it does look like price on a one-way road, street, whatever you call it, one-way path to the highs there. I don't see price coming down for the bigger retest anymore. Silver is looking very, very bullish. Trev, why don't you add fundamental analysis? Because I try to focus purely on just looking at high probable technical opportunities. I do find that sometimes the fundamentals can clash with those setups because often technicals will line up before fundamentals. And normally once the fundamental narrative is set, normally the technicals have already shown that path anyway. So I focus purely in technicals. That's where my skill set is. I do think there is definitely value in fundamentals. But yeah, I'm a very, very technical trader. Trev, yeah, true. Of course, the dollar can continue falling. The dollar is very bearish at the moment. It can still fall further. Yeah, that's one rule about any market. It can always keep going up. It can always keep going down. I am looking for buying, unless I see very healthy continuation signs on DXY. I'm not really looking to short it, especially as a swing trader, because I'm looking to catch a swing. If a market's already been falling for quite some time and it's starting to lose momentum, it's starting to become quite corrective, as a swing trader, it doesn't make any sense for me to keep looking to sell that, especially in FX. If it's indices, that's a different story because they tend to, of course, push in one direction. But FX, where we do tend to correct and reverse quite often. If a market's been falling for quite a while, it's becoming more tired. We're seeing signs of the market slowing down. Yes, I do understand on the lower time frame, shorts do look good, but from a swing perspective, I'd rather be looking for opportunities in the opposite direction. Or if this does become healthy, so if we do see a strong drop, maybe the interest rates, we do see a strong push down, maybe USD becomes very, very weak. If we do get a big flush to the downside, maybe that does make dollar shorts look healthy again, and I wouldn't mind a pullback. But until then, yeah, I'm kind of just sitting on the sidelines, not trying to jump the gun. But yeah, we'll go through pound Aussie. We'll take a look at pound CAD for Khalil. Charles, GJ, what is up? Yep, we'll take a look. Good morning, Lauder. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Trev, like, why would you sell gold? I'm out here. I don't understand what you're trying to say. I'll sell gold if there's a good selling opportunity. If there isn't one, then I wouldn't sell it. Of course, gold is a very bullish market, is a counter trend play, but if I'm getting selling opportunities and they're good and they fit my plan well, I'll look to take them. Adams, what's up? DAX on my side, took buyers, okay, nice. It's forming head and shoulder on the hourly time frame. What should I take? Okay, let me go through some pairs. Okay, so yeah, pound Aussie, I am still currently short on that one, hoping that we can see a bit more downside back into 2.06. That's where my first kind of major target is, where I'll look to try and take most of the profit. I am looking for a big counter trend move here. Again, we have been bullish for quite a while, but the fact that we took out those COVID highs not too long ago, a few weeks back, I am looking for a bit of a counter trend move. It may turn into be a bigger pullback, then price does become bullish later on. It might start reversal, who knows? But I'm looking for that counter trend move there for pound Aussie. And now that we have had a very strong reaction off that level, I'm expecting us to see a lot more downside. But of course, first target's back at the low here, not quite there yet. So that's where I'm looking to take most of the profit. And then I will leave some positions to run. But yeah, still holding the trade. There's no signs that I should get out. Of course, the pound weakness yesterday did very help out this position. Very strong push to the downside. There's a bit of a range here, which we could come back and retest as well. We might see price go and do something like that before continuing. My stops are trailed at break even. I probably will bring them down a little bit just to secure some gains. But yeah, I will be holding out to 2.06062. So that is still the plan. I wouldn't be looking to jump into any shorts if you're trying to get involved with pound Aussie, because the way I see it, we kind of are in a bit of a range here. So the best place to be getting involved with opportunities is at the low of the range or at the high. I wouldn't be trying to look for any continuation trades in the middle of the range. I think that's probably the worst place to get involved, just because there'd be a lot of fluctuation and your stops won't be relatively safe either. So I would probably leave price alone if you're not in the position. But yeah, I'm still expecting a bit more downside for pound Aussie. Pound CAD had a big push down. That was looking very, very bearish. Of course, pound weakness as well helped this one out to the downside. Basically, it looks like price has rejected the highs very aggressively. Of course, pound CAD is still a very bullish market. I do think we are coming to a bit of an end, and we could see bits of a bearish move, sustained bearish move soon. But I'm not going to jump the gun. We have had a nice rejection yesterday, but again, one bearish candle is not going to signify a complete bearish trend, or at least you wouldn't expect it to. You need to see a bit more than that before I do start to take any shorts. But yeah, very nice rejection. We are coming back into an area of demand here, so I would expect buyers to be looking to jump into the market. Whether they're successful to bring price back up again is a different situation. But for me to be looking to short pound CAD, I kind of want to see this low here be taken out. If I can see price continue to fall and take out this low, that'll give me some confidence to look for a lower high and then a continuation in somewhat of a head and shoulder pattern. Left head, right shoulder. And then, yeah, I'll try and take some shorts off the back of that and go against that trend, because I do think it's coming to an end pretty soon. I think the bigger move will be likely to the downside. As I said, if price does end up respecting this demand level and we start pushing back up again and creating new highs, of course, we're back bullish, and perhaps we do see some higher highs and higher lows. But I'm not so keen on the buys just yet, especially when we're fading at the highs so aggressively. That is a sign that we're having some trouble at resistance there. So yeah, from a short bias, do want to see lows taken out first before I do get short. We are pretty bullish after all, so have to show respect to that. So we're not quite ready yet for the shorts. If you are looking to buy, I would keep a close eye in this area. Maybe a nice double bottom, wicks, some more wicks to the downside before looking to jump into any longs. But this is definitely a smart place to go long from. Just need to wait for that kind of confirmation to back up the trade. But yeah, I'm looking to short, but not quite ready yet. Excuse me. We'll go through GJ next, and then we'll take a look at the DAX as well. Okay, gold, we'll take a look. DMAR, what is up? Morning. GJ, yep, we'll take a look at that one, Tommy. Yeah, I was debating, but I wasn't really too keen about long pound yen, because I am looking at the yen. I do think we can gain a lot of strength for the yen soon. That might not come through for the next week or two even, but I think the bigger move is looking for some yen buys. So I'm kind of banking on yen strength coming to the market. So I'm not so keen about GJ longs. But yeah, GJ is looking quite interesting, especially with the the pound weakness we had yesterday. But yeah, I'll go through that shortly. DMAR. Okay, took a buy in GJ after sell from last week. Could that low hold? Okay. Paul, what's up? What do you think of New Zealand CHF into sell yesterday? Okay, we'll have a look. What's up? Roadway, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Blessing, you're a yen. Okay, we'll take a look. Let me go through GJ. So GJ, a couple people speaking about this one. So we did have a bit of a sell-off yesterday. And price, I think price came back to test this trend line actually. Yeah, it did. We did crack through this level here, which is where we had the original test yesterday or Tuesday. Nice reaction, but price didn't really get the momentum going. We dropped a little bit deeper, tested the trend line, and had a decent reaction off that. Now, I do think pound yen at the moment is still very bullish. We're still seeing consistent higher lows. I still do think we can push to 200. I think the bigger move is going to be with the sellers. I do think there's a big sell to be had with pound yen and a lot of the other yen pairs, but we can get into that probably later on. But for now, yeah, the buyers are still very much in control. We did have a bit of a sell yesterday with pound yen, but it didn't do anything in terms of breaking through major structure. It did break through that support level, but again, support doesn't necessarily dictate the direction of a market. It's the higher highs and higher lows. If price was to go and sell and break through this low, then yeah, I would be a little bit worried about that bullish bias, but we are very far away from violating those lows. Excuse me. So yeah, to me, pound yen still looks bullish. We are starting to recover back above that level, so I do like the look of that. In fact, if we can maintain that, we could potentially see the next swing. I was talking about a move back to this level here yesterday. Didn't quite see that happen, but I would still be looking at a push back to 198.5 and possibly back to the 199.7 as well. There may be some sells after that. But yeah, I really like the reaction of that trend line. Very, very consistent. You can even extend it to this low here as well. But we've been reacting very, very well with this trend line. Another strong reaction. I think as long as price can obey that trend line, buys look good. If we were to suddenly break through the trend line, that would make things look very awkward. And probably at that point, we probably are going to push to these lows here. So if that trend line can sustain and hold, should give us a bullish pound yen back to 198.5. And then we can go from there. But yeah, very, very consistent high lows. Looks like we've just gone and put another one in. So I do back pound yen to at least see another rally back to highs. So yeah, I do agree with the pound yen buy. But yeah, with the yen, I do think a lot of yen strength is going to come in soon, but that could be not for another week. My mic was muted there. I have no idea how long the mic was muted for. But yeah, we'll go through the DAX next. Then we'll take a look at gold, New Zealand CHF, Euro yen as well. Tashepo, what's up? Good to have you on the stream. Hope you're well. Roadway. And do you think US employment data is cooling? I've not been paying attention to what the employment data is doing in the US. I'm focused purely on the price action. The indices still look pretty bullish, but I do think there is some downside in store for them. I do think some retracement is coming because they're not going to stay bullish forever, especially after taking out the all-time highs. But I'll go through them in a moment. In terms of the DAX, okay, we did see a bit of a bounce yesterday, but momentum hasn't really picked up. In fact, we're looking pretty bearish at the moment. Price is having a pretty big downturn right now. I wonder what that's what's causing that. But yeah, pound with not pound yen with the DAX. I am pretty bullish on this one. I'm still looking for a push back to the all-time high. So 24,363. I was talking about some buys over here yesterday and the day before that as well. I did really like the wick here. That's a very, very nice wick. We haven't seen momentum from that, which is always, in terms of my entries, I'm always looking for momentum before I do take a trade. Wicks are a great confluence, but momentum for me is very important. Haven't quite seen the momentum part come into the picture just yet, so I wonder if we are going to come back to retest the low, and then if we can respect it, then see a nice reaction and hopefully see a nice shift in momentum back with the buys, and that could end up being a nice entry. But at the moment, DAX for me is still bullish. We are still continuing with these higher highs and higher lows, which is the important thing. If price was to go and rip through these lows here, again, that wouldn't necessarily make me go bearish. It would be a break of these lows that would make me go bearish with the DAX. If we're starting to plummet and break through the lows there, I would expect at least a push back to the lows here. Again, DAX, I still would expect a long-term bullish bias, but perhaps at that point, we do see some selling opportunities on the way down before maybe we discuss some buys later on. So I would keep a close eye to see what we do at support. If we can respect that, maybe form a double bottom, see a strong shift after, I think that's a beautiful buy entry. If price does go and break through support, we might just consolidate slightly below and then buy, so keep an eye on that as well. What would invalidate the buys would be a break of this low here. So that's really what you want to pay attention to in terms of the narrative. If price does clear the low, I will look at shifting that bias, especially intraday, to being bearish, looking for a push into 23k. But for now, it's still bullish for DAX, still treating that as a pullback. We're still in a very healthy area of demand support, so I like the buys, but let's see what we can do in a retest. Then yeah, if we can reject it well, expectation will be a push back to highs, and of course, back to all-time highs shortly afterwards as well. So that would be my expectation with the DAX. In terms of gold, so as I mentioned with gold, I'm keeping a close eye for shorting opportunities. See what we can do at this area. I think this is a healthy area to be looking to short from. I'm kind of just waiting for momentum to really step in before I do look for entries. I'm not quite the fan just yet because we've had a very sharp rally, so I kind of want price to develop a little bit longer, maybe consolidate for a little bit longer, maybe give me some more wicks to the upside before I do jump into a short. But I like the area we're trading in. For me to not look for shorts, price does need to break through this high here. If you do break through that high, I will back away. But this is really my area of confidence for shorting. So going to keep a close eye to see how we develop. I'm liking what we're seeing so far. You know, we had a big push to the upside at the start of the week. That momentum has since kind of depleted, and we're looking a little bit more choppy, which is good for the sellers. And then I'm just going to be waiting for momentum to kick in, and yeah, targets back at support there, and then targets back at support here as well. So pretty bearish on gold for now. I'll drop to the 15-minute chart for gold as well. So gold on the 15 is still bullish. You're still seeing higher lows. You had the double bottom there, then you had some higher lows pushing up. So I wouldn't be looking to short on the 15. If I was going to short on the 15, I would wait for some bearish structure to come into play and then look for a lower high somewhere, which was still probably maybe a day away from forming that. And wouldn't necessarily be looking to buy either on the 15. We've already had such a big up move on the 15. We're losing that momentum, becoming quite corrective now. We just failed to make new highs over there as well. So I wouldn't really be looking to buy either on the 15, to be honest. It's not an attractive market to buy. We're becoming quite corrective, which does tell me that, okay, we're probably going to get ready for a bit of a sell-off. Of course, the sell might not be huge, but I would expect to see some downside. So I don't really have much to say about the 15 on gold either. I'm not really seeing a crystal clear setup. Market's quite corrective. I do think we can drop. So I wouldn't be looking to buy it. And then I wouldn't be looking for a big sell just yet because that bearish structure isn't in play yet. I think it's a nice place to be looking to short, but again, I will wait for that bearish structure to come into play before looking for some entries. So gold 15 needs some work. I'm not seeing crystal clear opportunity just yet. Again, 4 hour, I'm keeping a close eye on the shorts. But yeah, not quite ready just yet either. But If we can hold this area, which so far we're doing, it does keep me pretty bearish, and I will be looking for a push into the low. Okay, I'm going to go through New Zealand CHF next. So, Paul, you said you entered a sell position yesterday for a swing to 0.48140, profit target 0.46375. Okay, let's have a look, see. So, yeah, New Zealand CHF has been slowly pushing down. I did like the breakout, but we're just lacking momentum, which is why I'm a bit apprehensive for the sells, because the way I was looking at New Zealand CHF was, okay, price came from all-time lows. We had a sharp recovery of that. Then price starts to consolidate. Well, it's kind of 50-50. If price does break to the upside, then I'm looking at a continued recovery, a push back to these highs and these highs, so on and so forth. If price breaks to the downside, then perhaps we're still bearish. We're just likely to push back into lows. At this moment in time, I would still be favoring push there, but it's just the way we've broken out is just so corrective. It's not really giving me much confidence to be looking to short the market, because we're just not seeing much momentum. We're extremely corrective. Like I said, I would be looking for a push lower. I've had a very clear breakout to the downside, so I would be bearish, but I'm just not seeing, crystal clear price action that gives me confidence to jump into a short. So I would be careful with the shorts here, just because of how corrective we do look. Yes, we're bearish. Yes, we're falling. Yes, we're pretty consistent with these lower highs, but because momentum isn't there, this could snap bullish at any point, really. So I would be careful of that. You are looking for targets at 0.46375. So that would be basically the low. So basically the low there. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big swing. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be expecting price to get there. Now that we've broken the consolidation, that would be my bias. You said you got an entry around 0.48140. 48140. Which is around here roughly. So yeah, I mean, where's your stop loss, Paul? Because that's going to be very important, whether you've got enough room for the trade or not. But yeah, it's just because of how corrective we're looking, it doesn't give me confidence to jump into a short. If there was a lot of momentum, sure, I would like it. But because of how corrective we're looking, we could very much break to the upside at any point, really. And depending where your stop loss is, that could be a bit of an issue. Yes, breakout to the downside, likely to push back into support. So I do agree with the target and the idea of the trade. It's just that the way we've broken out isn't great. If we had a sharp breakout, like something like this, and then a healthy corrective pullback, then yeah, I would bank on that happening as well, because I've seen momentum in my direction. We've cleared the lows, and now we're seeing a corrective up move rather than a corrective down move. So yeah, that does put me off the trade. So we'll see if price can sustain that, but when I'm seeing corrective moves like this, I'm normally expecting price to break higher. Again, it could be a situation where we do break higher, but we still end up going lower. But it's like, okay, where's your stop loss? Because that break high could take your stop before we do continue. So I would watch out for that. Natty, UJ, we'll take a look, no problem. Okay, 48,523. Okay, that's around here. So more or less just above that support level. So yeah, I mean, it's 50-50 really, I would say. Because if we do come back for a retest, price might miss your stop, it might tag your stop. That's up to price. But yeah, that's my only kind of worry with the ideas that we're very corrective on the breakout. When I personally want to trade breakouts is because there's a lot of momentum in the market. If we break out and we're very corrective, I tend to not follow them, just because the whole point of a breakout is that we've had this prolonged consolidation and then suddenly momentum comes into the market, and that's what takes the breakout. If we've had a prolonged consolidation but we kind of just slowly take out the highs, it's not really give me confidence that we are likely to continue. But yeah, as long as we can stay below the support level, so as long as we don't break back within the range, I would stay bearish. It could be a situation where if we do pull back up, you can always get back into the trade. You know, taking a loss is not the worst thing in the world. You can always get back in. But yeah, hopefully momentum can pick up. I think that's the key thing to look out for. If you stay corrective, there's always that chance we break higher. If we can suddenly pick up momentum, then yeah, you're looking good. But we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so we'll go take a look at where was I? Okay, Euro Yen for blessing. We'll take a look. UJ as well. Yeah, we do have NFP today as well. We do have NFP, which, yeah, of course, normally have it on Friday, so it's a bit weird having it on a Thursday, but yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on. Dollar CAD, Karen, we'll take a look as well. No problem. No problem, Paul. Again, I'm just trying to be honest with the setup. I do like the idea. Personally, what I would do is, because of this way we've had the choppy breakout, what I would do is I'll just wait to see if we can get a retest of this level, because it's a decent breakout in terms of the distance. It's just lacking a lot of momentum, which is why I don't like it. But we are below support here. You know, this range here has broken to the downside, which is why I would be bearish as well, expecting the same move, you know, back into the lows. But I would wait to see if we can retest this and perhaps get the better entry. And probably get a better and tighter stop loss as well. So that would be kind of how I would approach it. Yeah, but I'm just not a fan of that momentum. Yeah, 4th of July tomorrow. So it's going to be a bank holiday. For the trend, BTC. Okay, let me go for Euro Yen. If I do miss out pair, just let me know. I sometimes do that, so do let me know. But yeah, Euro Yen very bullish recently. Again, Euro Yen's like the clearest yen pair in terms of trend and momentum, really, because we've had a very sharp break to the upside, and things are looking pretty bullish. We are slowing down. We are becoming quite corrective now, so you can see how choppy we are getting, which does imply that Euro Yen is soon going to be looking for a bit of a pullback. And I do like this area here on the daily chart. If we can pull back into this area, this is where we had a bit of a spike lower after a nice retracement and price flew to the upside. So I'm kind of looking at us coming back to retest the high of that, which is around 165. For me, that'd be a relatively healthy correction. If I get the fib from that wick low to the high of the current price, kind of puts me in between 0.5 and 0.618, which is naturally just a healthy pullback anyway. There's also the retest of the high here as well, which I would keep an eye on. There's a bit of an area of demand here where we did have a slight pause. You can see we did break to the upside, so this is also an area of interest, but I would like the deeper pullback for Euro Yen. But yeah, things do look pretty bullish with Euro Yen, so I would just keep an eye for the pullback, really. I'm not interested in shorting the market or buying at the highs here. I do want to see a bit of relief first before talking about the buys, and likewise with this level here as well. I want to see a much bigger pullback before we do take some longs. It depends how price reacts and what we do. Things look very good. Maybe I do get long here. If not, I might be a bit more patient and wait for the bigger pullback. But yeah, Euro Yen to me just looks like a bullish market, clean break to the upside. Perhaps we are going to push back to highs. I am a bit cautious of the yen. I think the yen can still see a lot more strength, which of course will play a big role in the direction of Euro Yen. But for now, just purely focus on the price action. I think the buy setups look good. Even if we don't get pushed to the high here, even if we go halfway, that's still going to be a decent trade anyway. So yeah, it's not a situation where the price has to get back to the high for us to profit from it. You know, we could see half of that and still see a decent return. So yeah, keep an eye on Euro Yen. Definitely nice setup there, but the pullback is essential. I'm not interested in this corrective behavior. I'm looking for price to push lower. Okay, so we'll go through UJ next. Is it UJ next? I believe so. Yeah, we'll go through dollar yen next and dollar CAD as well. And then BTC too. No problem, Paul. Happy to help. Okay, so dollar yen. So dollar yen, still pretty bearish on this one. Looking for a push back into support, which is this level here. 140, that's still my expectation for dollar yen. Of course, we've had this lovely bearish trend, which market's been so consistent with all these lower highs. And I would expect that to continue and, completely missed that. To continue and come back right into support there. So that's my expectation. The tricky thing is, how do I trade that? You know, prices already had a pretty big push down. We're coming into support here. Do I really want to be selling into that? Absolutely not. So I don't really have a setup too short, really. I did speak about resistance here last week, and we did get a nice kind of lower time frame retest, and prices continue since then. But the only way I would even contemplate getting into a trade is if price was to push back into that same area, because at least then I can find a relatively healthy entry with a relatively healthy stop loss as well. You know, trying to basically capitalize on the next lower high. Perhaps we can see that happen in this area. So that's the only smart place to short. Here is kind of a very rangy market, so I do not want to get in the middle of that. That's where all the speculation, indecisiveness is going to happen, and the stop loss in that area is just going to be at risk 100%. So yeah, this is kind of the only setup that kind of makes sense. A bigger pullback into this area, 146 roughly, then perhaps some shorts into 140, or at least back into 142.5, which is that support level there. But yeah, dollar yen I'm bearish on, just basically looking for the continuation of this bearish trend there, back into the lows, and then we'll go from there. You know, this is a very big level of support. You know, price could bounce from here and go a lot higher. We could speak about the buys when we get there, see how price is reacting, but for now, I'm still pretty bearish and keeping a very close eye on that 146 level of resistance. But yeah, in this area, I would stay away. I would very much stay away. Dollar CADs, we have been pretty bearish on, but again, I feel like the selling opportunities have done their bit now. We talked about some shorts here yesterday. I was talking about a double top, but unfortunately didn't quite see that. But a nice drop there, healthy pullback. I talked about price retesting the high and then shorting. Unfortunately, we just got a bit of consolidation and dropped lower. So no entry at that double top. But yeah, very nice healthy move to the downside. Now price is back at this, well, not quite back at this low, but it looks like it's headed to that low. I think there could be some nice buys there. Dollar CAD, if I zoom out, look at the bigger picture, we are coming back into a very big area of demand. This is where a lot of bullish momentum came from. We are kind of looking quite corrective in the way down, which gives me the impression that this could be price getting ready to form somewhat of a bottom before pushing higher. And you know, looking where we're trading, it does make sense for it to happen. So I'm keeping an eye on some buys here for dollar CAD. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely more of an aggressive trade because we're essentially going against all that momentum. The market is still bearish. We're still seeing lower lows and lower highs here. So taking some buys off this low is definitely more of an aggressive trade. You know, more conservative trade will be waiting for price to react off the low, maybe go see a higher high, and then look for the higher low for a pullback, then a buy. This will be the more conservative trade because at least you're waiting for that break of structure first, waiting for a higher low, and then buying. So at least momentum and structures in your favor. Taking the buy here is a lot more aggressive. Price could always keep falling. But I like it because it's positioned well. The location in reference to the higher time frames are good. It makes sense based on how price is moving. And it does put you in a position where you can capitalize on a really big move. And you know, your risk reward will probably be bigger as well. Yeah, those are the pros. The cons is, you know, it's a lot more risky. But yeah, I'm keeping a close eye for the buys here. I think there might be another lower time frame short to be had before we do get back to the lows here. Let's say the market was to pull back again into this area. I think that would be a smart place for a short as well. Intraday, another pullback, another lower high. Yeah, another push lower. So keep an eye on that intraday. There could be another short to take advantage of. But for the bigger move, I'll be looking at buys and looking at this level of support. So that's kind of where I am with dollar CAD. Follow the trend. Okay, BTC we'll go through next. Lauda will take a look at CAD Yen, no problem. Natty, no problem, happy to help. Nathaniel, US 30 and the 15, okay, we'll have a look for you, no problem. Rexis, good morning. Gold analysis, okay, sure, we'll go through that as well. Good morning, Alex, welcome, hope you're well. Lauda. Okay, long gold 32.51, nice. Looking forward to add a third. Should the setup continue bullish? Okay, I'm actually looking to short gold, so I'm looking to try and go against you, Lauda. But I'll go through gold in a moment. So yeah, CAD, BTC we'll go through next, then CAD, Yen, and US 30 and gold. So yeah, BTC. So yeah, Bitcoin, surprising stuff. I was looking for a third lower high here. We were seeing some healthy rejection. The price was looking pretty good. We did see a nice break of support there, but momentum completely reversed yesterday. I said, watch out what price does now at resistance, because yes, we had some healthy rejection, at the start of the week, but momentum shifted quite aggressively yesterday. So it's going to be very, very important to see what price does at resistance here. And as we can see, price has broken through that, even had a quick retest on a lower time frame, and we're looking pretty bullish. So now that price has cleared this trend line, cleared that resistance, I would bet that BTC does make its way back to 112k here, back to the all-time highs. So BTC for me is looking pretty bullish. The breakout of that channel was quite substantial. This kind of gives me the impression of a big bull flag pattern. There's your impulse, there's your flag. Now you got the break of the high. Perhaps now you can see the next bullish leg. So things are looking pretty bullish here for BTC. I would expect at least a push back to highs, then we'll go from there. But yeah, very, very bullish. There might be some lower time frame opportunities if we can have another retest of the area. But BTC to me, after the failure to respect that level, things are looking now pretty bullish, and I think we can go and see a push back to highs. In terms of CAD Yen, so CAD Yen I'm still pretty bearish on, but momentum is slowing down, so I'm kind of a little bit more skeptical. The thing is, we've been so corrective on the way up. I've been looking for a push down, but now that we have had this very corrective move down, I'm losing confidence with the shorts as well. The way things are looking is that price might be looking to form a higher low of this bullish leg. Now, this bullish leg is so corrective, so this is not something really I would look to follow personally. I like to follow moves which had momentum in it, then look for corrective patterns after that and a continuation. If things are very corrective on the way up, it doesn't give me confidence to keep buying and following that move. So we've had a bit of a push down. It looks like things are becoming quite corrective on the way down as well. So just a very corrective market altogether. But it does look like we are forming a higher low, or forming potentially a higher low to see a push back to highs. I'm still going to keep a close eye on shorts up at the high here. I still like the idea of shorting CAD Yen. The way I'm seeing it, it looks like price is getting ready for another push back to 107. So in terms of finding buys on CAD Yen, it would be nice to see a push back into the low. Perhaps a nice double bottom off the back of that. Maybe some breakout opportunities of that channel. I'm not really the fan of that, to be honest, especially when the market's very corrective. I wouldn't really trust the breakouts. I think the buys look a lot better. You position better as well, better stop loss, and probably a much better risk reward as well. So I think there's a lot more pros entering on the pullbacks than the breakouts. But CAD Yen, I do expect to see more upside here and a push back to 107. Then we'll go from there. Maybe we respect the highs, maybe we don't. But it's just a very corrective market altogether, because we've been so corrective on the way up. That's what puts me off the buys. But I'm looking at how price is shaping up, the fact that we're fading at these lows. It does look like CAD Yen can probably see another push back to 107. So for now, pretty bullish on CAD Yen. I think we can see a drive higher. US 30 on the 15. So yeah, still looking very bullish. We had a look at US 30 and 15 yesterday, didn't we? I talked about the retest of this range here as a possibility. I talked about a retest of the range here if we could break to the upside, but we didn't. And I also talked about the retest of this low here, which actually played out okay. I mean, we haven't seen a push back to highs. But I did say watch out for a run back into this low here. We might push into that low, recover, and then push through. And that's kind of what price did. I did say, keep an eye for some wicks below and then a reaction. We did get price, did form a wick, but we did get some closures below, but not much momentum. So I wouldn't look to follow that anyway. But yeah, very nice close recovery above that level, kind of faking the low. I am still looking for US 30 return back to highs, but the way I see it now is that we do have just a larger consolidation here. So yeah, I'm just looking at this as consolidation. So the next move for US 30, I would still be looking at upside, but it's 50-50 now. What price does, we might have that bigger pullback, test that zone, and then find the buys. Or we might push back into the low again, and then find the buy off this low here at 44,353. Or price might break to the upside and then pull back to retest this range and then continue. So it's really up to price how we set up. But in terms of direction, I would be very bullish. So only really looking to buy where there's a deep retest into this zone, wherever it's a retest into this low and we form a bit of a double bottom, or whether we break to the upside and retest this zone. And it's just a simple break and retest. Either which one looks good to me. Momentum looks good. We're not quite at all-time highs yet for US 30. The all-time highs are just slightly above us at 45k, and I think price is likely to end up there. So I'm very, very bullish for this one. Only looking to buy. Longer term targets 45k, so keeping a close eye on that. But yeah, just looking for buying opportunities and a push to 45k. Okay, so we'll go through gold next. Yes, we'll take a look at oil, Alex, no problem. Long-term current price, 4-hour time frame, okay, we'll have a look as well, Raphael. Yeah, I noticed that we did have a pretty strong reaction in oil, didn't we? I think we are looking quite bullish, but yeah, we'll go through that. But yeah, as for gold, I am looking for shorting opportunities in this area here, in this area of supply, if you will. A nice push down recently. I actually was at the start of the week looking for the retest of this area for some more downside, but it didn't really provide much rejection. Price was very bullish on Monday as well. We saw a very strong rally, and price has since then taken out some of these highs as well. So the way I see gold right now is I'm looking at this whole leg as one bearish leg. I'm treating this as the pullback of that leg for continuation potentially. Depending how we react here will justify entries or tell me to stay away. We did have a lot of momentum here, which did give us that V-shaped pattern. But since we have become quite corrective now, I'm looking to see if that will kind of continue and potentially form a lower high for a drop back into the lows. If I do see price continue and break the high here, then I will completely back away. At that point, I would be pretty bullish on gold. I wouldn't be looking to buy it because after a break higher, that's not the time to be looking to buy gold. You want some pullbacks afterwards before continuation. So I wouldn't necessarily be looking to buy it if that happens, but I wouldn't be looking to sell it, which is the important thing. But yeah, as we do pull back into this area, I do like the idea of shorting it, and I do like the idea of a push back into support. Yeah, so that's literally what I'm going to follow. Of course, very nice reaction off the lows there. Price has been looking pretty bullish. Lauder, you're in some position from 32.51, which is around here. So very, very nice entry. And 32.87, which is around here as well. So very, very nice entries. And you've got a lot of room there to play with as well. But yeah, I'm looking to see if I can find some shorts off that area. It might be temporary. We might just see a short for a few days and then price rockets to the upside. That could be the case. Of course, after all, gold is a very, very bullish market. So the shorts are always a bit counter trend, always an aggressive trade, but it makes sense based on the structure we've had recently and the fact that we did take out these lows quite well. So I do like the idea of the sells there. We'll see how price develops. If I'm not seeing what I'm looking for, I'll stay away and wait to see if price can take out that high. But for now, we're slowing down, so it's definitely caught my eye. I'm going to see how we do develop in that area. In terms of oil, so last time I looked at this one, we were looking pretty bullish. Yeah, very strong push to the upside. So that's what I was looking for oil. I also like the daily close there as well. I said for oil, this one I am bullish for, but it's very important that we do get that positive breakout on the lower time frames to show that momentum is back with the buyers and that this level is holding as support. And to me, that's looked like exactly what price is doing. Had a long consolidation for a few days, then price finally said, okay, now it's time to break out. We saw a healthy close there, and now I think upside is likely. So what I would say is there's two ways to go about it. You could either took the trade on the breakout, probably had a stop loss here, which of course doesn't do wonders for your stop loss and your risk to reward. Even a push all the way back to the high here. 2.5 is not a bad risk reward, to be honest. Anything above a 2 is always decent. You're earning twice as much as you're risking. That's always a good proposition. But it could potentially be a lot better on a retest. If you can find some entries on the lower time frame, probably even have a stop loss, something similar to this. And suddenly that 2.5R turns into a 1 to 8.6. So you can see you're timesing that by 3. So, but of course your stop loss in a bit more of an exposed place, you can always get wicked out here. Whereas if you had a stop loss here, you're away from all the noise. Price has to work a lot harder to take you out of the trade. So there's pros and cons both ways. But yeah, the key thing is the breakout we've had recently. Strong close to the upside, breaking out that kind of range we've had, basically respecting that support level. And there's a very significant level on the daily chart. So the fact that the price is respecting it is huge for me. And that does really make me bullish on oil. So now I'd be looking at a push to 76. And then if things go very well, a push to 80. But yeah, we've got our confirmation, which is the key thing I've been going on about for quite a while, waiting for that confirmation, which is a strong close, breaking out that range. Show momentum is back in our favor, because this was a very, very aggressive sell. So the fact that we had such an aggressive sell, the momentum kind of vanished straight away. We had this consolidation. That was a positive sign. But the key sign I wanted was the close, and now we've got it. So yeah, I would be looking at upside, whether you're buying on the breakout, whether you're waiting for the retest. I think both make sense. Just pick an idea and stick with it. But yeah, as long as price doesn't now break underneath us, I would expect more upside. So the way to invalidate this bias would be a break underneath support, which at the moment I don't see price quite doing. So yeah, oil to me looks pretty bullish, and I think we can see a lot more upside there. No problem, Rex is happy to help. So at the moment, the pair I'm looking at the most is definitely Euro Aussie for some shorts. Very similar to my pound Aussie trade as well, but because that's now break even, there's no risk on the table. I do have permission to get involved with Euro Aussie. It's taken its time, which I actually quite like. I mean, of course, I would want to get into the thick of it and be trading it, but the fact that we are taking our time is another positive sign. It means things are really slowing down. We're really failing to break through resistance here, and we could be forming a low high for a big drop. And that's exactly what I'm banking on. I'm looking at a push back into lows here. The way I see it, price had this big push down. I'm looking at this bullish move as a pullback of that. Now come back into relatively healthy area of the 0.5, 0.618. I do think a lower high here could form for a push back into support. So I'm pretty bearish on here. We're very continuous with the wicks there as well. The key thing for an entry is, again, similar to what's happened with oil. It's the momentum. I'm looking for a strong bearish candle, or maybe a couple strong bearish candles to close to justify me entering at this area, because right now we are very corrective. We're sort of putting higher lows in, and maybe price does just continue to range consolidate and even break high as well. That could be a possibility. But I do think the bigger move for Euro Aussies are pushed down back into the lows here. We haven't taken out COVID highs. Pound Aussie took out COVID highs. COVID highs is all up there. But you can see we do have kind of similar characteristics in terms of the aggressive run higher. I'm looking for price to come right back down. It's had a very aggressive run higher. Don't get me wrong, price still could have a lot more upside in the tank. But I would expect us to have a bigger retracement, maybe a retest of this humongous wick there, before maybe we do get on our way and continue higher. But yeah, Euro Aussie is definitely my preferred opportunity. Pound Aussie is not much for me to do apart from just manage. We're very close to the first major take profit level. So I'm just going to wait to see if we can get that. That's my take profit down at 2.06. So I booked some profits here. And also the fact that Pound Aussie's had a big drop as well does give me confidence to go short Euro Aussie too. Because Pound Aussie and Euro Aussie do tend to do the same thing. So if Pound Aussie is going to do something like this over the next few days, few weeks, then the chances are Euro Aussie is going to follow suit. It might be a little bit slower because Euro at the moment is a lot stronger than Pound. So we're not quite seeing that yet. But I do think if Pound Aussie is going to have that follow through, Euro Aussie is going to join the party at some stage, and there's going to be some big shorts there. So if I can get involved in that one as well, yes, double the trouble, take advantage of both. Yeah, that would be great. So yeah, we'll stay patient for that. In terms of other pairs I'm looking at, like I just mentioned, gold, definitely something I'm keeping a close eye for some shorts. Euro Aussie is my preferred opportunity out of everything, so that's really where my focus is right now. But I've got about 3 or 4 other pairs which I'm keeping an eye on. If things do look good, I will take the trade as well. And of course, gold is definitely one of them. As I explained, lovely zone of supply there, very strong rally to the upside. I like the rally as well because it's aggressive, and that probably would have sucked in some buys at the highs here, and that could help with the shorts, but we'll wait for the confirmation. So keeping a close eye at that area for some shorts back into 32.50. In terms of the USD pairs, Aussie dollar still looks pretty good to me, keeping a very close eye on that one. I like the ascending channel because it's very, very corrective, and most of the time we do end up breaking lower. So if I can position myself at the high, that does allow me to take advantage of this channel. And of course, just targets back at the low of the range. But I would leave positions just in case we do run, which is the whole idea. If I do get short here, yes, I've got a good chance of capitalizing on the push to the low of the channel. But if things go very well, we see a breakout, maybe I do catch the flush and the big sell-off afterwards. So I like Aussie dollar for that look. It does kind of contradict my Euro Aussie bias because here I'll be selling Aussie, the other one I'll be buying Aussie, but I don't mind it too much. It depends which one shapes up first, really. But I like the opportunity from a technical standpoint. If it fits the plan and it does a good job, I'll look to take it. Out of the yen pairs, I'm keeping an eye on Euro yen longs. If we can have that bigger pullback, I like the buys for this one. We are still looking very, very tired over there. So I do think there's some buys coming into play. 167, 165 are the areas I'm keeping a very close eye on. But you can see for the most part how corrective we're looking. So just about staying patient, looking to see if we can get into those areas and finding some longs back into the swing high. And if we go take a look at which other pair, so Aussie CHF, another pair which I'm looking at as well. For some longs, I do think this is getting ready for a big buy. Again, you can see how corrective price has been on the way down, which again gives me confidence that price is likely to break higher. The way I see Aussie CHF here is like a opposite to Euro Aussie. Very, very similar trade, both coming from big highs and big lows in Euro Aussie's case. We've had a big swing to the upside here. I'm basically looking at this as a pullback of this move, and I'm expecting a higher low to form and a push back up again. Euro Aussie, pretty much the exact opposite. Pretty much the exact opposite, which is of course a push down from a major high. Had a healthy pullback into the 0.5, and now I'm looking for a big swing to the downside. So again, I don't see myself trading both of these markets. It's a case where I pick one and kind of just stick with it. and they're both kind of surrounding Aussie as well. But Aussie CHF is definitely something I like. In fact, I might even take this one over Euro Aussie, just depending on how the entry does form. I like the fact that we've had support here and the market just gone and taken out those lows. And now it looks like we're slowing down even some more. So if there is a strong close, I might just take this position over Euro Aussie. They're very similar trades, so I expect them both to kind of do the same thing. They're both kind of relying on Aussie being strong. But yeah, wait to see what type of close we can get. And for the buy, I think for Euro Aussie, a nice trade idea would be is if we can spike higher and then push lower. Just because right now we're very, very flat. So there'll be a lot of stop losses just kind of resting above all of here. If we could like run higher and then have an aggressive sell-off, that would be something that does give me a lot of confidence to short Euro Aussie in terms of the entry itself and then expecting the big swing. Aussie CHF has kind of done that already, which is maybe playing into the hands of Aussie buys a bit more. So you can see we had that support there. That's been taken out. Now that momentum is about to shift. Don't get me wrong, it's a very much an aggressive buy here for Aussie CHF. I did speak a lot about this one yesterday. I said there could be some buys here for Aussie CHF, more an aggressive trade. Reason being, structure is still pointing down. We're still seeing lower lows and lower highs, of course. So buying here is definitely more of an aggressive trade. The conservative trade idea would be waiting for price to push up first, give you a pullback and a higher low, and then try and capitalize on some pullbacks here. More conservative, more obvious trades, because of course you've got that up move initially, you've got some bullish structure to back yourself with. But sometimes the opportunity in the markets is before people have noticed the market is going to be bullish or is going to be bearish. If everyone can look at the market and just see it's bearish, then probably the opportunity is already gone. If something's already bearish and everyone can identify that, yes, we could keep falling. But I wouldn't expect a big move. I would expect kind of smaller moves as price kind of trickles lower. I think best way to take advantage of that is intraday, just following momentum. But if you're looking for a swing trade, as myself, if the market is already bearish, everyone can see it's already bearish, it's already been falling for quite a while. As a swing trade, it doesn't make much sense to keep looking to short that because you've already seen the swing. The next swing that's going to be of value is going to be the opposite direction, or at least waiting for a bigger pullback of that bearish trend. If the market's been falling for a while, everyone can see it, everyone's been shorting it. You want to wait for a bigger pullback, wait to shake people out of the market, maybe tempt some buyers in, and then that's when you can look to sell it back down again. Or take the reversal, which of course will be the value. So Aussie CHF been heading down for a while, shaking out a lot of buyers here. We're losing momentum. I think the bigger move here naturally be to the upside. And of course, looking at where we're trading, if I go to the higher time frames, these are the all-time lows for Aussie CHF. And every time the market has put an all-time low, you can see what has followed shortly afterwards. We're seeing pretty big recoveries each time. So I do expect to see something like that in the near future. Of course, I'm not looking to take advantage of that altogether. I'm looking just for a small piece of that pie. But I do think we're likely to come back and retest this area. And if I can swing it there, that'll be beautiful. So Aussie CHF, definitely something I'm going to keep an eye on. Same with Euro Aussie, pretty much the same idea with both charts, just about entry now. Maybe if I do see a strong close there, how are we looking on the 8 hour? Yeah, maybe if you do see a strong close in the 8 hour, which closed the next 2 hours and 40 minutes, I might take that position. I'll probably give myself a bit wider of a stop loss, something like this. Normally I have my stop loss a bit tighter, but normally I'll give myself a little bit more breathing room just because, again, a bit more of an aggressive trade. We could still be heading to the lows here, but I like the idea of something like that. 10 pound CAD, okay, we'll take a look. Of course, make sure to keep an eye on the news, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we do have LFP coming out later today, and I know some people that probably go over their heads because it's Thursday, so they probably wouldn't naturally think of, okay, NFP. I know that would probably happen to me if I'm not paying attention. But we actually got NFP at 130. You got jobless claims as well at 130. You got PMI for USD at 2:45 UK time as well. So there's quite a few announcements to be had. I think, yeah, we kind of squeezed them into one because you've got news that normally would happen on a Thursday and then news that would normally happen on a Friday kind of bunched together. So it should be an interesting afternoon. I'm only in one position, which is pound Aussie, and that's in profit, and the stops have moved to break even. So I'm not too concerned with the news, to be honest, because again, I'm not directly trading USD, and even if something does happen to pound Aussie, there's no risk on the table. So I should be okay with that position. But if you are trading USD, especially lower time frames, do keep an eye on that. But yeah, pound CAD, this is a pair which I am getting ready for a big short. I do think pound CAD is a pair that has been trending to the upside for a while, but could be looking to hit a top soon. You know, we've been trending since September 2022. You know, we're not too far away from September 2025, and that'll be a solid 3 years of an uptrend. And I do think we are due a bigger correction. Don't get me wrong, the trend might still continue higher, but I think we are definitely due something like this for a few months before we do continue high, if that's going to be the case. So I do like the idea of shorting pound CAD, but of course the market's still quite bullish, and I've got to show respect to that. So pound CAD, I do like the idea if we could see price continue to break lower and go break structure, and then I find the lower higher after that. That to me looks like a nice trade, and I can trade it back to some of these lows, or some of these lows potentially. The buys I'm not so interested in because I feel like we've already had our fun with the buys. Yes, we could always keep going higher, but now we're seeing some very aggressive bearish momentum, so that does kind of put me off anyway for the buys anyway. We are coming back into a nice area of demand where we could bounce from, so I'd suggest keep an eye on that. Maybe if we could become a bit more corrective, maybe form some type of double bottom, that might end up being a nice buy opportunity. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything just yet. There is one bullish candle there, but I wouldn't say that's enough to necessarily reverse all that bearish momentum. So I'll keep a close eye here at 1.85 to see how we develop. But yeah, pound CAD, I am looking at some selling opportunities, which again are not here yet. They might not be here yet for the next 2 weeks potentially. So I won't talk too much about that because there's no use just yet, and of course we might not even see it happen. In terms of right now, we are in bullish territory. We've had a strong rejection at the highs here, so now it's up to price to see if we are going to put another higher low in. We have been pretty consistent with that. You know, are we going to do it again? Let's see. I need a bit more information there, a bit more development. We could be seeing a higher low that does form. If so, maybe some buys at least back into this zone look good, and that could be a nice trade within itself as well. So pound CAD, I like the buying opportunities. I would wait for a little more development there with the entries before jumping into anything, but we are coming back into a healthy area of demand. But because of how aggressive we were when we pushed down, I would wait for things to develop. It's not like we've had a nice slow corrective pullback. It's a very aggressive bearish move, which could mean some more downside. So I would stay patient with that. But yeah, very nice area around 1.85. And I think a good target for the trade, or at least initial target, 1.867, which is this low here. We could of course go a lot higher, but if you can book some profits there, you're looking good. Hey, what's up, Lighton? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Hey, what's up, Havanator? Welcome to the stream, my man. I hope you're doing good. Happy Thursday. Yeah, I know, it is going so slow. Aussie's taking its sweet time. Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's nothing I can say to that, to be honest. I was trying to flip it to a positive, turn it into a positive, but there is no positive. It is taking its time. It is taking its time. Yeah. Drama tonight with NFP. Yeah, we should see some drama. I think that could accelerate things or make things very interesting. Like maybe an unexpected move happens or a bigger move than expected happens. And that could change my outlook going into Friday. For now, I still like the idea of shorting Aussie dollar at 0.66 or that kind of area, which lines up with the top end of the channel. So this is still very much my interest, but who knows if NFP gives us a strong break like this, if dollar just kind of continues that weakness, I will back away from the shorts. And of course, we could plummet from current price as well, which would be very unfortunate. I do not want to see that because, of course, price is coming so close to our level just to drop. So this is still what I'm waiting for, but we will have to see. Lighton, yes, we can take a look at dollar CHF and dollar CAD for you, no problem. Miss Welly, welcome to the stream. No problem, happy to help. Yeah, there is no positive, it's just so slow. Correct. Godfrey, the DAX, okay, we'll take a look. Good morning to you as well, hope you're doing good. Liquidity around 0.6680 in the weekly view. Okay, we'll have a look at that. Actually, I'll go through that first since I'm on the chart already. But I'll go for dollar CHF and dollar CAD and the DAX as well. Of course, any requests, any charts you want me to take a look at, just drop it in the chat, and we can have a look. See if there's any particular time frames as well. Let me know. But with Aussie dollar, which we're currently already on, so I don't have to type it in. There we go. So you mentioned some liquidity around 0.6680. Whereabouts is that? 6680. Let me just type it in. Okay, talking about this wick over here. Yeah, I mean, we could see price run into that area. I mean, in general, Aussie dollar is just so corrective to the upside that even if we don't respect the area I'm looking for, even if we do break higher, I kind of do still expect us to drop anyway. So yeah, I do think Aussie dollar is getting ready for a big sell at some point in time. This is so corrected. This is not a healthy uptrend at all by any stretch of the imagination. This is a very corrective move. So as we climb higher, we are looking for price to fall. Of course, timing is everything because, you know, we are likely to fall, yes. Of course, we're not guaranteed to fall. We're likely to fall. But at the same time, you know, you could take, 2, 3, 4, 5 losing positions before the market does fall. So timing is very, very important as well. But yeah, I'm looking at that kind of confluence at the up end of the channel there. I'll see what we do. Even if we do break higher, I do think we still fall. I might not find a trade idea because I don't have a setup outside of that. But yeah, we could see price stretch to 0.668 even and sell off, kind of where we had that big drop there as well. So yeah, it's up to Aussie dollar. See what we do. I mean, I do have other pairs which I'm looking at as well. I like Euro Aussie. I like Aussie CHF as well. So I'm keeping a close eye on those pairs too. In fact, they're actually closer to give me an entry than Aussie. But we'll see. NFP will cause some drama, 100%. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Likely cause some drama. So yeah, we'll see what NFP has in store. But yeah, it is taking its sweet time. Terminal CAD Yen as well. Okay, we'll have a look. Let me just go through USD CHF and USD CAD. Yeah, I thought it was USD CHF. So USD CHF, with this one, we've been pretty bearish. Price has been falling. But I do expect to see some type of pullback. It's just difficult to try and catch that. Where's that low going to fall? And we could always go a little bit lower. You have to be careful with these sort of things here. You can see we're pretty much coming into some major support on the monthly chart. This dates back to 2011, so over a decade since we've been at these prices. Quite crazy, actually. But price is now back at support here. We could see somewhat of a bounce. But of course, trying to judge where exactly that low of their bounce is going to be, that's a very difficult thing to do. So with USD CHF, I think this is a nice area to keep an eye out for some shorts. I think there could at least be a reaction there. I'm not really interested in shorting dollar CHF, so even with this level, I know it's a nice level of support, which we broke through. I could easily act as resistance and send us back down again. I do think the bigger move is to the upside, so I'm looking to see if price can get there, have somewhat of a reaction, but I do think the bigger move will be to the upside. So I'm looking for, structures start to build higher highs and higher lows, and then I try to get involved in a higher low in the near future. Maybe price breaks above and retest it. It really depends how we shape up, but that's where I do think the bigger move is, because we've been selling since the start of the year. Market to me is quite overextended. We are testing some monthly levels. I do think a low can form soon. Don't get me wrong, price could still fall another 100, 200 pips if it wants to, but I'll be waiting for those counter trend moves to try and buy. I think the sellers have had their fun, and it's likely to come to an end soon. So yeah, dollar CHF, I like the buys of this one. Nowhere near ready yet. I do think there could be some nice sells off the retest of 0.8055. So if you are short bias, I would wait for some type of pullback into this zone. I think that's a smart place to short. I wouldn't be looking for a crazy move from that area, just because of how oversold we are, but I think we can at least see a reaction for maybe a couple of days. And then, yeah, hopefully talk about some buys shortly after. But again, that's probably something we can speak more about maybe next week or even the week after. In terms of dollar CAD, again, I'm looking for some buying opportunities here, more of an aggressive trade. But I kind of like where dollar CAD is situated. We've got this big range here in the market where we had a nice double bottom, price consolidated for a little bit. Huge breakout to the upside, of course, giving us a nice area of demand. Prices now pull back into the same area. Oh, just hit the mic there. Pull back into the same area, and potentially we could see another reaction. And we have seen signs of that with the initial push higher. And now it looks like price is coming back into support. So there might be another shorting opportunity for dollar CAD, another pullback into this area. We have been very consistent with these lower highs, and we had a weird wick over there. But for the most part, we've been pretty consistent with these lower highs. So potentially another one does form, and that could be a nice short intraday to take back into the low. But I am looking to see if we can bounce here, somewhat with a double bottom and a buy. Again, more of an aggressive trade, going against momentum, trying to call the bottom. Definitely an aggressive trade. You can wait for something a bit more conservative, which would be waiting for that low to actually form and trying to find some higher lows afterwards. There's nothing wrong with that either, but I do like the idea of trying to pick some lows from here. But of course, how we react is going to play a big part in that. But yeah, dollar CAD for now pretty bearish, so intraday shorts look good, but as soon as we hit support there, I'd back away from shorting and start looking for some longs if you want to find those counter trend plays. But yeah, that is kind of where I'm at with dollar CAD, and we'll see if we can get that bounce. Okay, so we'll go through the DAX next, and then we'll go through CAD yen as well. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Again, when prices move like that very, very correctively, it's normally getting ready just to come right back down at some point in time. Very rarely do you see corrective moves like that and they just kind of pick up momentum. And sometimes they do pick up momentum, but it's a bit of a fake move to actually get a bit of a sell. So I think Aussie shorts do look quite likely. It's just how to time it is just very, very difficult. Okay, so we'll go through CAD yen, and then we'll take a look at the DAX. Yeah, no, we'll take a look at the DAX first, then CAD yen. So yeah, with the DAX, I'm still pretty bullish with this one. I said earlier this morning, keep an eye on the retest of this area because it looks to be holding as support pretty well. As long as price doesn't take out this low, I remain bullish on the DAX, looking for us to push all the way back to the all-time highs, which is 24,300, we'll say. So yeah, DAX pretty bullish, looking for a lot more upside. We do have some support below us over here, which I think looks really good for a buy as well. I like the wicks price is leaving to the downside, very aggressive wick over there. So I would suggest if price can get back here, retest it and find a buy off the back of that. That makes a load of sense to me. And then I'll be looking for a swing back into resistance and a swing back into the high. If we go and break through this support, that's not necessarily a red flag, as long as we can still stay above this area. The red flag would be if price does break through that as well, then yeah, I would be looking at a lower high and some more downside into support. But if we do break through support there, but we end up respecting this low here, well, that could still provide a nice buy opportunity. So definitely keep an eye on that as well. But yeah, the DAX pointing up, we respect to the very nice level on the daily chart. Prior resistance here, end up holding a support, so that's maybe pretty bullish. We're getting some nice bullish structure here. I'll only be looking to buy the DAX for now, and targets back to where we came from. So I think the DAX is shaping up pretty well. In terms of CAD Yen, I've been pretty bearish with this one, looking for a lot more downside, but we are starting to become a lot more corrective, and I'm looking to see if we can form another higher low before another run back to highs. And then maybe we can speak about shorts afterwards, because this is a very corrective move on the way up. But the way I see it, we've had a bullish move, creating new highs. Momentum hasn't really come into the market for the bears. We're looking really corrective here. So if we can get another push down into lows, maybe sweep the lows one more time as well, I think that'll be a smart place for a buy, and possibly you can swing it back into resistance and take it back into the high up there. So CAD Yen, bullish on this area, looking for a buy back into 107, and then we'll go from there. Longer term move, I still quite fancy CAD Yen to do something like this. Basically looking at the pullback of this bearish leg, I still do kind of have the expectation that we are likely to see a continuation of that back into lows. So that's still kind of what I'm looking for CAD Yen, but judging price action right now, judging the way we're moving, this looks like where we could buy and see a push back into 107. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense for CAD Yen. Oh, 50-minute time frame for the DAX. Okay, I'll take a look at that again. Use these are no story for me. Okay, just hold it. Okay, nice. 10 Euro CAD. Okay, no problem. We'll take a look as well. Dre Huntley, what's up, my man? Hear your opinion on sell on the NAS down to 22.6. Okay, no problem. I will take a look. Let me just go through the DAX on the 15 Euro CAD, and I'll take a look at NAS for you. So yeah, the DAX on the 15. You said you are buying from 23.7, 23.73699. Okay, so that's roughly about there. So yeah, very nice entry. So yeah, for the DAX, I do like the idea. I assume maybe stops underneath the low here, maybe. So 23,600 roughly. And maybe targets this area or that area. But yeah, I think that looks good on the 15 as well. Maybe a little bit flat now, as we kind of just poked through highs and failed there. And of course, you got that same situation here as well. We got the lows, we poked through the lows there too. So we are a little bit choppy here. It could form some type of consolidation, which is why I did say watch out. We could see another retest of this zone before buying. I think in terms of price really pushing in your favor, you do want price to really see a sharp breakout of that resistance level. So a strong break of this, then yeah, you can be a bit more confident that price is in your favor. At that point, we're likely to continue back to highs at 24k or 24,100. So yeah, if we can clear that resistance, things look good. At the moment, of course, that's not the case, and we could see price kind of mess around a little bit. So I think if you've got stops below there, you're in a healthy situation because your stops are away from all the noise. So if price does come back to retest support before pushing, you should be all right for that. or maybe you go on to break even, so maybe you do get stopped out break even, but you can always find a re-entry for that. But yeah, I would have a similar bias, looking for a price to push higher. It's just that we are a little bit choppy, failing at resistance. I do think we can break higher, but we might push down first, so be watchful over that. But in terms of direction, in terms of the location for the entry, I am definitely on board with that idea. Let's go take a look at Euro Canadian. So yeah, EuroCAD has been very bullish as well. Okay, yeah, I agree. It looks good. I would keep an eye on that position. And it looks like yen can still at least fall for a few more days. I'll go take a look at the yen in a second. But yeah, EuroCAD, nice push to the upside recently. It's quite funny to look at this one compared to PoundCAD, because PoundCAD had that massive sell, but EuroCAD, not a trace of that. It just shows how weak pound's been looking compared to euro. But yeah, EuroCAD has been pretty bullish, but I'm not interested in buying this. You know, it's a market that has been trending to the upside for a while. We're a little bit stretched there. We are pushing to monthly resistance here as well. Of course, price could always break through this. We're not guaranteed to respect resistance, but naturally, it's not an area as a swing trader which I'll be looking to try and find some long-term buys from. If anything, I'll keep an eye for some longer-term sells. So based on where we're trading, based on how we're trading as well, I'm kind of looking to see if we can form some nice counter trend plays. And there might be some nice shorts with this one. Some lower highs somewhere that does add up quite well. Coming to major resistance, taking out these highs. We are quite corrective as a whole here. So I do like the looks of a big sell here and a push back down. But none of that quite yet. The market is still relatively bullish, even though we've even seen some signs of us slowing down here as well. So I just wouldn't really be looking to try and buy EuroCAD at all. I think the market's quite stretched. We're running up momentum, testing major monthly resistance. I think there is some nice opportunities to take this lower. Just need structure to kind of give us the green flag. So lower lows, lower highs, some bearish structure in play, then yes, some shorts could look good. And we can take some sells, but not quite yet. Not quite yet. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on that. I think this could be some nice shorts on the way. In terms of the NAS 100, with this one, yeah, so of course we created new all-time highs. I do think we're due a bit of a pullback, so I like the idea of shorting, trying to take advantage of that. Maybe some type of double top could be forming at the highs here. You spoke about some shorts on the 50-minute at 22,600, which is around here. Oh, down to 22,600. Okay, understood. So you're looking for a push down to this level. I mean, we've rejected the highs well, so I like that aspect to it. We've kind of broken out of this channel here as well, so that uptrend which got us to resistance is now kind of kaput. Not seeing much momentum though, so that's a bit of a worry. But yeah, I mean, again, we're not fortune tellers here. I would say we're likely to push there, but anything could happen really. I think the smart thing with NAS is that, okay, if you do get short at the highs, you're positioned well and you can manage that trade accordingly. Momentum is a little bit dry, but hey, if we can continue to respect structure, so if price doesn't go and break through this area, so if we can continue to respect areas like this, that will keep us bearish, keep us likely to fall. If price was to suddenly break above that, then yeah, we're probably going to push back to highs at that point, and we'll see what we do up there. Maybe we break through them. So yeah, I would suggest we'll like to keep falling. It's a break of that channel. We've got supply resistance above us. As long as we can respect that, there's a strong likelihood we do keep falling. 22,600 isn't a mile away, so that's why I think it looks pretty feasible if price is to get there. So yeah, I would bet on that happening, but we need to respect that kind of 22,650, 660 area. That will keep us bearish. But we are respecting high as well, so I think that does add to the trade as well. But yeah, hopefully that made sense. Lauder, pound, NZD, sure thing. We can take a look. No problem. Menshi, happy to help. So in terms of pound NZD, so this one has been very interesting. I mean, it's purely consolidation, to be honest. But pound NZD, I'm looking for this to break lower. I've been speaking about some shorts for pound NZD quite a while. It hasn't really come into play, to be honest. The trend is still up, but we are still looking very corrective, which is why I'm looking for a push down. At the moment, it's a ranging market. We've got resistance here, which is keeping us bearish. We've got support here, which is just about keeping us bullish. And price has just been fluctuating between those two levels. So I do think price is likely to break lower, but again, I would wait for price to actually break lower first before banking on that. In terms of opportunities, well, you want to be at the high or at the low. That's where you want to be focused on. Of course, you can still get wicked out. You can still get stopped out at the highs and lows, not guaranteed profit. I did have a buy here a couple of weeks ago and just got wicked out. Missed out on that bullish move there, unfortunately. But again, that is to happen. Normally, I would find a re-entry to get back in the trade, but this closed whilst I was still sleeping. By the time I was waking up, price was already trading around here, so I kind of missed the opportunity. But yeah, unfortunately did get missed out on that position there. But since then, nice rejection of the high. We have had a bit of a sell-off. We had that weakness for pound yesterday. Yeah, I don't really see much here, to be honest, Lauder. I think if I was going to get involved with pound NZD again, it would have to be because price is at the low or price is at the high. Yes, I can see we're pulling back into an area like this where maybe we respect this and push down, but because it's in rangy conditions, I think the probability of the setup is lowered. It's not as good as it could be. If this was in the middle of a healthy trend, then yeah, sure, I would back the retest there. I'll favor continuation, but because it's in the middle of a range, it could still play out. It is probabilities at the end of the day, but because of where we're positioned, I wouldn't be the biggest fan of that setup. So really, pound NZD, I am looking for a long-term swing down. In terms of opportunities, I would just wait to see what we can do at the highs and lows. And of course, if we do break to the upside, there could be some nice buys there too to take it back to the high. And if we do break to the downside, there could be some nice sells there to take it for the reversal. But either which way, I think these are really where the opportunities do lie for pound NZD. Right now, we're kind of in the middle, so I'm not the biggest fan of the price action. Happy to help, Jay Huntley. Yusuf, my man, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Again, keep an eye on the news later today. I know that could definitely catch some people out because it is a Thursday, but we do have NFP later today, so do watch out for that. We'll probably be live again later today with Trading Nick as well on his stream. Actually, I don't know if Trading Nick's. I don't think Trading Nick's actually here today, but I will be on his channel later today as well. Probably just after the news, I think, or just before the news, just after the news. I think just after the news. No problem, Lauder. Happy to help. Yusuf, UJ, GJ, Golden 15. Okay, no problemo. Okay, so I've actually looked at Euro Pound on the 15 today. All I know is that we've been consolidating. So yeah, with Euro on the 15. So yesterday we talked about, no, I have actually looked at Euro on the 15. So yeah, price came back to test the high of that range yesterday. We were speaking about this resistance here. Of course, lovely consolidation. Price had a nice continuation higher. We did come back and eventually get that retest. Price did react higher. Then I said watch out for this area from a seller's perspective. I think this is a nice area to look for selling opportunities, because of course we've got the lower high, price pushed down, and then perhaps we can form another lower high and push down as well. Yeah, this is more of an aggressive trade idea. We're going against the trend of the market. We are 100% bullish on the way up. This is more of like a counterplay against that. Some nice rejections there, especially this morning as well. Of course, we are starting to form support here, but I think if that can break, then the trade idea should really get going. At least take us back into these lows, then we'll go from there. Maybe we bounce again, maybe we have a deeper correction, who knows. But for now, we are respecting this area pretty well. So I do have a bearish bias in the 15 for euro. I do think we can drop lower and at least push back into support down here. If price does go and break through this high, then that's when I'll flip the bias to bullish again. I'd want to see a strong rally through the highs before I would suggest the pullback. But for now, we're holding into that supply pretty well. So I do think we can continue falling. In terms of pound USD, I'm pretty bearish with this one on the 15 as well. We had a very, very dramatic sell-off with the pound pairs, and the way we have fallen does make me favor the sells as we do come higher. 1.371 is where I'd short from. Of course, all this analysis is nice, but it could be thrown out the window this afternoon. So do take this with a pinch of salt, because if NFP causes some drama, things could be looking very, very different between now and, 6 hours time, or whenever the news is kind of relaxed. So be considerate of that. But I like this zone here. This is kind of where we had a pullback from, a brief drop. And of course, that's where the momentum came from as well. So if we can revisit that, I think that would be a smart place to be looking to short. And perhaps we see a continuation back into low. We have technically broken structure in the 15, taking out this low here. This low did give us a new high beyond that point. Since then, that is broken through. Now the pullbacks do make sense. So pound USD, bearish, looking for shorts around 1.372. Euro USD, similar analysis as well, bearish, looking for a pushback down into support. As for UJ, which you just didn't even ask for GJ, EU or GU, I don't know why I looked at them. But you got some analysis for Euro USD and pound USD. In terms of UJ, again, UJ I'm the biggest fan on, because we are just stuck in the range here. So it's just like, the opportunity is not good quality, because we are kind of just messing around inside that range. So it's not going to be as good as it could be. But we did end up respecting that area yesterday. Price had a nice reaction, almost a double top there. And we've pushed down. Haven't really set the market alight. I would still be looking to see if price can get back there again. I wouldn't want to find entries here. If I'm going to take some shorts, price does need to be back at resistance. If I'm going to sell, that's kind of what I would wait for. And then, of course, just basically looking for the continuation of this bearish trend. High over there. Then you got another one. Then you got another one. Another one. Perhaps another one there as well before the short. So just looking to try and continue that bearish trend back to lows. That would be the plan. In terms of GJ and the 15, we had a strong move lower, of course, with the pound weakness. We had a strong push lower. Yen was a little bit strong as well, but weak. And now, pound is reacting with a trend line in the 4-hour chart. It looks like we're slowly reacting to that. Now, there could be some shorts here for pound yen in the 15 as we do approach this range here. I think that could be a smart place for a short. If we were to rally and break through that, then that would make us very bullish on the 15 for pound yen. I would be looking at a pullback and some buys. This is kind of make or break area. If we respect it well, maybe some nice double top forms, I think that's a smart place for a short. And we can trade that to lows and simply just continue momentum. If we do reverse and we do take out highs here, then that's of course a very bullish statement. We're likely to run back to highs at that point. The plan would be look for a pullback and then follow that momentum back to highs. And this would just be another higher low, in this bullish sequence here. And that would just be the next high low in that sequence. But I would want to see price run through highs first and then pull back. I think looking for buys now is just a bit aggressive, especially when this area of supply is just above us. So keep a close eye on that area. That will make or break the trade. Respect it well. Shorts look good. Breakthrough. We'll look for a pullback, maybe a retest before some buys. And gold on the 15 as well. So gold on 15 I'm not a big fan of, to be honest, because we've had a sharp rally. Price has been trending very well to the upside. But now momentum is becoming a little bit more corrective. We're starting to slow down. Not really seeing, excuse me, not really seeing a healthy trending market anymore. So from a 15-minute perspective, I would actually be waiting for potentially a reversal here. Doesn't necessarily have to be a reversal in terms of, okay, we have to push all the way down to the lows. It might just be a counter trend move in terms of we might push down for a little bit. Maybe the bigger move is still to the upside, but it could provide some nice shorts on the way down. Because we are coming back into an area of supply right now, which is where we had that last major lower high before this push down. We are becoming quite corrective, so I wouldn't be looking to buy and follow that anyway, especially after such a big move as well. So I'm kind of looking for us to fizzle out, maybe form some bearish structure, and hopefully there could be some nice shorts soon afterwards. But of course, a lot needs to happen before we do get that. We've got NFP coming out, so that could skew things as well. But the main kind of point is that, okay, the market's trended well. We're becoming corrected now. So from a 15-minute perspective, I wouldn't want to continue trying to buy that unless I see price kind of give me a sharp move to the upside. And maybe some pullbacks after that could make sense, because I've got some now new momentums coming to the market. Perhaps a nice corrective pullback, and we can find a nice continuation of that. But now that we've had a strong push and now we're looking dry, we have to see that momentum come into the market if we're going to continue to buy it. If not, we could end up rolling over. So no kind of clear-cut setup yet for gold. There could be some buys. We need that momentum first, and there could be some sells, but we need to do structure to start to show signs of some lower highs and lower lows before jumping in. So gold's a bit more kind of in limbo right now. Not quite ready yet for shorts, not quite ready yet for buys. I'll just wait for more information. And this is perfect because we do have NFP on our tails right now. So I think that's really a good sign, because, okay, if we got gold, not really sure of its next move. Is it going to retrace? Is it going to keep pushing up? Let's let NFP decide that, and then we can come back either later today or even better tomorrow morning when the dust has settled, and probably find some opportunities there. Of course, it is bank holiday in the US tomorrow, so maybe it's going to be a little bit drier tomorrow on Friday. But the market will still be open, so you can still find some opportunities if things do look good. But I'll wait for NFP to do its thing and then make a call. Jay Silver. Silver last time I checked was looking very, very bullish. So I have been looking at a push to 35. Unfortunately, just hasn't been the case. We haven't got that yet. Looks like the support here for the wicks held very, very well. And looks like price is looking pretty bullish now. So I'm expecting price to push back to all-time highs, back to these highs and continue. I did talk about a retest of this zone here. I think that's a nice place for a buy. You can see brief resistance, nice area of demand, strong push higher. I think if you can see price pull back and retest that, that'll be a smart place for a buy. And we can also target the highs there as well. So the way I see it, silver's looking very bullish. This is likely to continue. It's just whether we can find a pullback to take advantage of that. If not, it might be a situation where we might kind of run away with it. But the retest of 35 not looking likely anymore, which is this level here. Looks like this is probably the next best opportunity before we do run higher. So hopefully that made sense. Also, guys, make sure you have checked out the Telegram for Zenthrex AI, a project I've been working on for quite a few months now, looking to launch very, very soon. Again, involving utilizing AI to develop tools for traders, whether you're looking at automated trading bots, developing strategies, developing indicators, refining strategies even across numerous different markets. So if you are interested to check it out. I'll post the link to the Telegram again in the chat. And also make sure you get your Solana wallets ready. If you do want to test the platform, you do need your Solana wallets to access the platform. So make sure to get that ready. But check out the Telegram. I'll have more information regarding launching as well. So make sure you check it out if you haven't done so already. But guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. I will be going live later today on TradingNic's channel. So if you do want to see more of me or see what the reaction is to the news with NFP, just pretty much as it's come out, I think I'll be live at like 1:45 p.m. UK time. So that's like 15 minutes after the news is released. So check out Nick's channel. If not, I will be live again on this channel tomorrow, my channel tomorrow. So if you are free and want to stay tuned, check it out from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Tomorrow we're live between 10 and 12 a.m. p.m. every weekday, so you can't miss out on that. But guys, if you have enjoyed the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It does really help out. And of course, hit the bell too so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But I really do appreciate you guys tuning in for another stream. Have a good one, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
Zentrix AI. The advanced AI-powered trading platform for every trader. Everything you need for trading success. Research, strategy, automation, trade signals, all in one platform. Write strategies in plain language. We build the bots. Forex, crypto, stocks, futures. Every market. Let AI do the heavy lifting. Zentrix AI. The future of trading is here. Are you ready?